Hey guys, Holly Haven here with Haven Home Team, and we're super excited to bring you the January market update because there's a lot going on right now.
There is. Yeah, I'm Andy Haven. Welcome back. We are looking at what it's looked like for the month of December here today. Just for a recap, we look at the month prior so that we have very exact stats to talk about the month of January. So we will get started. We usually do Dallas, Frisco, Prosper, and Celina, just so that we would look at bigger towns and narrow down to where our market really is. So we will get started with Dallas. The average list price in Dallas this month was 537,000. That is down a little bit from last month, but that's again, we're going to talk about this for every single city. That's very common in December. Lots of holidays going on. Everyone's busy. Nobody wants to stage their house and prep it for showings during the month of December. So that's very common, and we'll see that pretty common theme throughout the next few cities.
Yeah, I want to note on this one really quickly because it dropped over like $100,000, like $150,000 from the month before. And what I find interesting is we're seeing in our luxury and higher priced homes, a lot of those came off the market or really have been sitting still the last few months due to interest rates. And I think that has a big impact on that Dallas market as a whole, because we have a lot of luxury listings in Dallas proper as well.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. I will say though that the sales price to list price ratio stayed the same. It went up just a little bit, 98.6. So we're having some of those higher price listings come off the market,
Yep.
but the houses that are selling for 98.6% of what they were listed for. So
Yeah.
that's still looking good. Days to sell are down a little bit. We're at 39 days, up or down, I guess you could say. We're down because that's not great, but we're up because it's 39 days instead of 35. Still a great market. We're just a little over a month, so nothing bad there. Number of new listings this month was 835. This is down a lot from the last few months, but again, it's Christmas time, it's winter, it's New Year's, everybody's kind of taking a little break. So expired listings do go up always at the end of the year though, because if you're writing a 1-year listing agreement, this is the time that they typically decline. We have a 2,300 expired listings this month. And then months of inventory, very continuous at 4 months of inventory in Dallas.
Yeah, which we call 4 months really a stable market. It's not really a buyer's market, not really a seller's market. This is what we call a stable standard market. As we've discussed the last year, it's just not what we're used to here the last few years in North Texas. All right, let's jump to Frisco. So this one's interesting because I just talked about how prices were down in Dallas, right? The overall list price average. And in Frisco, we saw that number go up this month. So we went from about 860,000 to over 900,000. And I don't think Frisco has ever had an average list price over 900,000. So this is really crazy numbers, especially as we're sitting in December, which historically it's our slowest month. We stayed right about the same on that sales to list price ratio, so 98%. That's a great number for sellers. Days to sell went up quite a bit, 51 days. So again, December holidays, we slowed down a lot that November and December timeframe. We have 112 new listings, which is way down, exactly what we would expect. And we had 469 expired listings, which is way up, which is exactly what we would expect. So there is nothing really earth-shattering in Frisco. 3 months of inventory, again, really standard, really stable, still falling a little bit to the seller's side of what we would call a seller's market. But that over 900,000 list price really, that surprised me. That was very interesting.
Well, and Frisco is starting a lot of new luxury developments. That's something that they've kind of brought in the last 5 years or so. So that is probably the reason that the average list price is increasing.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about Prosper because these numbers just continue to get interesting.
Talk about average list price increasing in the city of Prosper. So Prosper is a technically smaller town. We're growing, we are expanding, we're actually booming. It's one of the biggest booming towns in Texas, as far as I'm concerned. Average list price in December is 978,000. This is up quite a bit from last month, but very consistent over the last few months. We are at 96.7% sales price to list price ratio. This is down about 2% from last month, but
Okay.
a lot of people are closing out their inventory. A lot of builders, I mean,
I was about to
and
say, we're
doing
having
into this.
Yep, we're having builders give incentives again. We had some closeouts at the end of the year. We have a lot going on in that new construction area that we're going to see in Prosper and Celina numbers, and those definitely reflect that.
Yeah, our days to sell is up just a few days at 69. Again, that's consistent with new builds in the area. Our number of new listings is down quite a bit, only 31 new listings in the month of December. Again, this shows that we are a smaller town than Frisco, but a booming town. Expired listings are up 195 expired listings this month, and then 3 months of inventory, which is down from 6 last month, which is crazy.
Yep. We saw so many builder deals happening these last few months. When we had sellers that were sitting on the fence, maybe not sure what they were going to do, maybe even, letting their listings expire or not putting them on the market. We had builders that were like finally ready and able to put people in homes, which we've had this catch up happening for the last few years. And so this is really indicative of what's happening in those new construction areas, those little suburban areas.
Yeah.
All right. Celina moving north again, and that average list price was up again in Celina. So we're up to 731,000. That's about 20,000 over last month. So we've seen a little bit of up and down in Celina the last few months as well. Their list to sell price ratio stayed exactly the same at 97.9. And again, these numbers, like Prosper, are reflective of new construction. Yes, obviously we have resale, but we see these numbers get skewed a little bit. Average days to sell was up a little bit to 65. Number of new listings actually was up over last month. So we had 87 new listings in Celina, which is interesting. But again, it could be those builders putting them on the MLS once they get to a certain stage of completion. So I think that's affecting Celina. Those new listings and expired listings, all those things are going to look a little different. Expired was way up at 239, which was what we would expect. And then 2 months of inventory. So that's actually the lowest of the 4 cities or towns on our update. And I would say it's indicative of people really, really looking to move a little bit further out from city center. I think that trend is going to continue. What are your thoughts, Andy, just a little bit for the people that are viewing, right? We talk about these 4 cities, but what are we telling, let's say those buyers that are really, under $700,000, what do we think they should be looking at? Where should they be going? What towns, what cities, what are your thoughts on that? I know you work with a lot of our buyers in that price point.
Yeah, so what I'm seeing under 750,000, we're needing to go about 45 minutes outside of city center at least. Anything closer to the Oklahoma border is going to be significantly cheaper just because you are about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours away from large city as Dallas. So the towns that I am looking at currently, Pilot Point, we're seeing a lot of Van Alstyne, we're seeing a lot of Sherman, Princeton. Anything north and northeast is honestly where a lot of the clients are looking right now. Northwest is not really developing at the same rate. That would be our Sanger area, our Pilot Point. The Pilot Point area is growing, but those other small areas are not growing as fast. So if you're looking for something that might not grow as rapidly, Northwest might be your best option. If you're looking something to have huge equity growth over the next 5 to 10 years, straight up north or northeast, that's going to be your area to look for.
Okay, awesome. I totally agree on that. I do know we have a lot of people move in, they're looking for school districts. They really get focused on, I need to be in this district or I need certain things. And I just want to say at that 7 to 750 mark, we can still very much get people into those sought after school districts. It's a matter of what you're going to get for your money. So yeah. Really, I'm just going to kind of take what we coach our clients and I'm going to give this to the masses and say, as a buyer, we need you guys to step back and decide what is your motivation, what is really what's your top 3 things you have to have. And if top 3 is a specific school district or a specific rating, that's where we need to start. And then we need to show you what's available for your budget. Working from there, because we have a lot of buyers that, hey, maybe we don't have kids yet. We're not worried about the school district. We want the most for the money, and we're going to take you north, or we're going to take you northeast, right? But if we're saying, hey, we've got to be in a certain district, then we do have ways of working within that budget. Would you agree with that? We can definitely get in Prosper and Celina under 750, but we might not get that house you're thinking you're going to get.
Well, and that's the thing. If school district is your number one thing and Frisco, Prosper, Celina are the 3 school districts on the top of your list, you may have to cut out the 5th bedroom. You're probably not going to get a 3rd-car garage. You're probably not going to get a pool in the backyard. But at
Right.
the end of the day, if the school district's the number one thing, then you have to make some sacrifices. So
And just another little, tip for the people watching is we are really, really expecting a very busy spring and summer market. We think these interest rates are supposed to continue to drop. It's what we've been told over and over, and we're starting to see it. We're starting to feel it. So I would say to our buyers, guys, do not sit around and wait for this interest rate to get as low as you're hoping. As we're getting closer and closer to 6, this is really a stable, historically average interest rate. So if you find that house that really checks all of those boxes, don't sit on the sidelines and just, keep wishing for that grass to be greener, because you're going to be in a very, very competitive market coming into spring and summer as we get closer to March, April, May, and June. So that would probably be my big tip for anybody thinking about buying, is honestly start that search now, start having the conversation, start getting pre-approved, and let's really see what we can get you into so that you know what your options are. Because the last thing we want is our buyers to fall in love with a house, put it on hold because they're really waiting on that interest rate, and come back, 2 weeks even later, the house will be gone, or you will be in a multiple offer situation, very, very likely. So I think we just really need to prep our community members and our buyers moving in of what's about to happen in this market.
well, and something I kind of want to go off of that you said, pre-approval. That is so very important. If you find a house that you absolutely love and you're not pre-approved, you could lose that in a day.
Yep.
Like the market is picking up so fast that the pre-approval is free. First of all, it's free. It's easy. Takes about, I would say on average, probably a week or less, depending on your
Oh,
lender and if you have all of your
I was
documents.
gonna say it's usually the person in their documents. It's tracking down
Yeah.
the documents the lender needs. But our lenders, guys, we have some really great lender referral partners that take great care of our clients, and they can have you pre-approved within 24 hours as
Oh,
long as
definitely.
you have the documents to get to them. So it's a quick and easy process. It sounds painful, it sounds daunting, and for some people it sounds scary, right? You don't know what your interest rate is, you don't know what you're going to be approved for, and people don't like bad news. So we tend to kind of hide our eyes and, tuck our head in the sand and all of that. But this is not the time to do it. I say it's time to jump in the market if you've been considering it. This is the time to get off the bench, get those lender pre-approvals, and let's get shopping.
Yeah. Well, on that note, that is our January market update. We hope that this was very informational for you guys. I hope that it answered some of y'all's questions. If you have any questions, you can always call us, email us, text us, whatever. I'm available all the time. So go ahead and look down below, and we will see you guys in our next video.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.